Hello and welcome as always, I'm Sean, this is In The Mix, episode of 41 of our Isle of Man save. Now we're back, we've had a little bit of a break, I was away from work and then last week we did our one season wonder save with PSG. I'm thrilled to be back on the Isle and managing Isle of Man again. I cannot wait to get started now that we're in League 2 football. If you haven't gone and watched the other episodes, go and check them out. There's 40 wonderful episodes that have gotten us up until this point. And if you haven't, like, we're going to get a whole bunch of different spoilers in here. So please go check those out first. Worst case scenario, just go and check out episode 40 so that you're caught up and up to date with where we are up to. But as you can see, we are up into League 2 football, which is absolutely mind-boggling. I think if we go to our history here, and it's in one of these things, landmarks maybe. Records, highest league position, you can see we have now won 6 divisional titles back to back to back to back to back to back. And that, like, I'm never going to achieve that again. I think I had a great run of like 4 or 5 last year with #United. To have 6 this year is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I'm enjoying FM20 again. I'm starting to get into the rhythm. I've got a save picked up in this game, which is working tremendously well for me, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the content as well. Now, we do have a tremendous amount to get through. I'm probably going to go through like the squad, top to bottom, all the way through to introduce you to the new faces and revisit some of the guys that we've kept from last year. Of course, into League 2 means we, for the first time, have full-time professional contracts that we've been able to offer, and there are a couple of like favourites of mine that have been at the club for a few seasons that I've offered them full-time football to try and get them that professional contract to see how they play at the professional level. We'll see if it works out. And then the other layer is, I had a big night last night. I'm a little bit dusty. I'm a little bit hungover. I just want to hang out and play some Football Manager. It is my favourite hangover cure. So let's start at the start. We, of course, are still operating with just like regular real life talent. There will come a time, it'll probably be in the next season or two, where we will start transitioning to like using regen players and players coming through higher level academy structures and all that sort of stuff. Very similar to what we did last year with #United. But for the moment, we are just focusing on real life talent. I've given them all their face packs. I've made those myself to match the DF11 style. Like, I've set everything up to continue going. And if we do struggle this season, if we don't perform as we should in the league and the division, we will start transitioning in some regen players. So that's why you won't see any in the squad as we go through it today. But let's start at the top. The new goalkeeper we've signed, Daniel Gennaro, ex-Chelsea junior, ex-West Ham Academy player as well. We've kept an eye on him for a good few seasons. We just haven't been able to get him in due to him wanting a full-time contract and due to his wage demands. Now that we're in the higher division, we've got a little bit more income, a higher wage budget. We can bring him across. £600 a week, 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. Looks to be an excellent goalkeeper already, still only 23 years of age. We've got him on a couple-of-year deal. And actually, most of the players that you're going to see here, we've got for like 2 or 3 year contracts. So if someone's going to want to come in and get them, they're going to have to pay quite a bit to actually get that cash all the way through. He will, of course, be fantastic for us. We have kept Will Dennis as well. He's going to transition to being our backup goalkeeper. He's been excellent for us over the last 3 or 4 seasons, 101 appearances, only conceding 96 goals in that time, which for lower league football is very impressive. Still 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. He's now 25 years of age, so you can see some of those young, like 19, 20-year-old players we were signing are getting a little bit older in the game, and their potential isn't necessarily what it used to be. We don't really have anyone in the squad that's like a 5-star potential type player, but that's just due to the age of the majority of the group. Oldest players are 25, youngest players are about 22 now, being that really any teenage players, any guys that you would expect to see that kind of like black star next to for higher potential are really just regen players that are coming through. At right back, we've signed Daniel Ayogoke. He will likely start ahead of Joel Connolly. He looks relatively solid. He came through the Arsenal Youth Academy before playing at Dorking at a Vanarama North level, and then, Vanarama South level, and then Mansfield in the league itself. Only made 3 appearances. He now joins us. He's got good technical ability, good physical ability, good mental attributes. We needed a little bit of an improvement on our right back spot. His 2.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. We've got him on a couple of years deal, and he's only 22, so he will still have a little bit more of a ceiling that he can work with. Joel Connolly will be the backup. We have kept him on from last season, and he's been fantastic for us, like consistently performing above what his stats would necessarily reflect. But you can see 2-star current ability, 2.5-star potential. We can't have too many players that are only 2-star current ability in our squad and expect to be super successful and expect to stay in the division and try and finish in the top half, which is like our kind of goal. But over his 111 appearances so far, he has been magnificent. We're going to keep him for a couple more years as well. And worst case scenario, we will hand him off to a team back in Vanarama North football or back in Vanarama National football, and he'll be fine at that level. On the left-hand side, we've got Lenny Ray Sorino, Ghanaian Youth International, who we have picked up from Blackburn Rovers. Made 2 first-team appearances in 6 years at the club. Looks to be a very very solid option. He's got okay crossing ability. It needs a little bit of improvement, but good marking, good tackling for what we're asking him to do. Excellent mental attributes for everything that we're asking him to do in that wing back on support role, and wonderful physical attributes here. Everything that we need and a key item in double figures. We'll keep him working on a couple of technical things, but he's going to be excellent for us. 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential, and if he hits a good run of form, he will be wonderful. The backup will be Jamie Melbourne, who we've had now for a good few seasons. The ex-Stoke City junior we picked up in 2022, so I think 3 divisions ago, before we even made Banner South football. 121 appearances for the club. He's been absolutely excellent, but similar to Joel Connolly, 2-star current ability, 3-star potential. Like, he's starting to hit his ceiling a little bit. We'll give him an opportunity as a squad player. His versatility, being able to play like as a left fullback and a left-sided centre-back, is great. We can definitely use that off the bench when we need to. But it's still in a scenario where, you know, we're just kind of giving him a contract to be a squad player and to keep around the group and keep kind of consistency in the group and in the tactic and then familiarity going. He's probably not going to start a tremendous amount of games. As far as the centre-backs are concerned, we've probably not strengthened as much as I wanted. The one that we have brought in is Jake Rooney, who is the real-life cousin of Wayne Rooney. Much younger, though. Burnley youth product. He is one of, I think, like 6 or 7 players that we've brought from the Burnley youth system. They just seem super happy to come and join us and move out to Isle of Man. But he's got excellent technical attributes for a defensive role, this central defend instruction we're going to use for him. Mental attributes, like, they'll come with time. He's still only 23, and his physical attributes are quite good. Strength is the only one we'll have to keep an eye on. But 191 centimetres, 79 kilos. He's a big boy. He's going to be fine. And he also made one first team appearance for Burnley back in the day. Jean Bellahoon will play alongside him as a central defender. We may switch him to his covering role depending on how the season's going and how our structure's working. He's got excellent attributes. He's been around the club for quite a few years now, 75 appearances over 3 seasons. Good mental attributes, but he is also similarly starting to hit his ceiling. 24 years of age, 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. There are a couple of extra players on the market that we are keeping an eye on that may potentially come in and take a first team spot. They're really like those 4 or 5-star current ability guys that just right now aren't willing to speak to us because they're hoping to play at like a championship League 1 level. But if we get off to a good start this season, anything could happen, and this might be one of the positions that we look to strengthen. As far as the rest of the players in the squad, Matthew Carson, again, ex-Burnley junior, we've had him for a few seasons as well, was excellent last year. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. There's no reason, as far as I'm concerned, that he and Bellahoon can't rotate their particular position, but we're just going to see how it goes, how form and fitness and everything goes. So far, he's had a good friendly run for us during the off-season. We're just going with Bellahoon because I think he offers a little bit more physically. And then the 4th choice will be Kai Knight, who of course played with us last season. Big lad, 201 centimetres, but for some reason he seems to continually strike me as being someone who's not that good out of the air. I can remember a bunch of times where he's missed headers and not jumped that well and done all this other random stuff and just lets people through. So he'll likely be the 4th choice centre-back, and if we do bring someone in, he'd probably be the first one that we push out. But 40 appearances last season from him for the ex-Birmingham youth player. He was pretty good in those appearances. We won the league. I shouldn't complain about anything. But another one that may potentially, at 2-star current ability, be a little bit out of their depth now that we're in League 2 football. There are 2 positions on the pitch. I'll go through this second one in a moment, but the first is right midfield, where we've really struggled to actually bring someone in. So we only have one right midfielder at the moment. It's David Wang. He was excellent for us last season. Now 25 years of age, 46 caps for China and 5 goals for their senior side. He's got 15 crossing, which I think is what continually saves him at this level. Not the quickest, not the best mental attributes. Got good flair, got good off-the-ball movement, so he moves intelligently. But that 15 crossing, I think he got like 17, 18 assists last season on that right wing. And his versatility now to play as both the midfielder right and attacking midfielder right is kind of why we're going with him for the time being. But if someone comes on the market, and there are, sneakily, I'll show you guys here. I probably shouldn't, but I'll sneakily show you guys here. There are a few right wingers that we're keeping an eye on. If one of them is actually willing to join the club, they will likely come in and be a first choice player in that position. But again, thrilled to have him. If he can make the most of that 3.5-star potential ability, he will be excellent for us, and he'll definitely have enough about him to keep us in the division this year. As far as the left wing goes, we've got currently starting Emmanuel Longello. He will likely be the backup. Excellent for us last season. You might remember we had Jaden Manger, who was one of the players that we brought in at the start of last season, expecting him to do quite well, expecting him to be the first choice. And Longello just played really, really well anytime we gave him an opportunity. Physically fantastic, 15 acceleration, agility, and pace. Good determination, good flair. Some technical attributes need a little bit of work, but his dribbling's decent. His crossing's okay at a 9. He will be fine for us on that side and gives us good depth at the left midfield position. The one superstar that we've potentially tried to bring in is Sylvester Jasper, who will play on the left-hand side. He's naturally a right-footed player, but we're going to play him as a winger on attack on that left-hand side and let him cut in late into the box to find shots. Ex-Fulham Junior has also played at Morecambe, Fylde and Doncaster in the League One last season. 31 appearances at that level, despite still only being 23 years of age. 4-star current ability, 4.5-star potential on a K a week, which is like our joint highest earner, but he looks like he's going to be quite good for us as well. Good composure, good determination, good flair. Some of his technical attributes, again, need a little bit of work, but physically, I think he's definitely going to take us to another level. And he's worth quite a bit. Highest valued player in the squad at 140k. So if it doesn't go well, we can try and sell him on and get a little bit of a profit. Of course, not paying anything for a free transfer. He's had a good preseason, but he has picked up a knock. Sprained knee ligaments. You probably won't see him until the next episode, maybe even the episode after, depending on how things play out. In the middle, we have 4 central midfielders. A couple of these ones I'm guilty of signing players that I just enjoyed and liked, but the 2 that are going to start, Isaiah Cornet, who played, of course, with us at the end of last season, French under-19 international, came through the Middlesbrough Academy, played for Hartlepool as well on loan during that period. We're using him as a deep-lying playmaker on defend. He does have to work on his tackling a little bit. He's on an individual training regime, but otherwise, like, just an excellent player. Wonderful technical ability, excellent passing range, good mental attributes, like very solid across the board 10s, phenomenal determination, so hopefully he will make the most of that potential ability, and physically everything we could possibly need. Maybe a little bit lighter of frame for a defensive midfielder or a deep line playmaker on that defend instruction, but still a wonderful player that I'm thrilled to have, and hopefully once we get a full season out of him, we'll start to see the best of him. Alongside him, Zach Gilsonen, who is an Irish/Australian youth international. He's going to play as that Messiah on support. It's his basic role. He can also play at the 10 if we ever need to like tweak or change anything in terms of our structure and in terms of our tactic. But 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. Again, signed him from Blackburn. He's made 1 first-team appearance for them in the higher divisions and played for Rochdale a couple of times before that as well. Wonderful physical attributes, very good mental attributes. Technique does need a little bit of work, but as long as we get people on individual training regimes for the things that they're like lacking in, I think he's going to be great. And at 22 years of age, we've got him a couple of year deal, only £800 a week. It's low risk. Worst case scenario, if these don't work out, I think we can put them on the market and someone will come and pay their value to get them. As far as the rest of the squad goes, we've kept James Rowland, who played with us last season as the deep line playmaker on defend. Just never really settled into a particular role, but has relatively solid attributes, but nothing spectacular. His highest attributes is 12, but he's got so many like 10s, 11s, whatever else. We use him as kind of like that third choice midfielder, 2.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential, and worst case scenario, we can offer him out on loan. We can push him forward if he starts to get unhappy. Very similarly, if someone comes up in the free transfer market that's a wonderful central midfield option, we will definitely go after them and explore that. The other one I've kept, and I'm totally guilty of a bit of nostalgia with this one, is Max Hager, the ex-Man United junior. We've signed him twice. Of course, played for Isle of Man in the lower divisions, was excellent, got a money move to Darlington. We just couldn't turn down the fee. I think it was about 20k at the time. Had a season with them, or sorry, 2 seasons with them before re-signing for us, first on loan and then on a end of contract agreement. Wonderful technical ability, mental attributes, physically not that great, but I just wanted to give him an opportunity to get full-time football and a professional contract and all that sort of stuff. And we'll see how he goes off the bench, jumping into games and like kind of playing against tired defenses and seeing if he can turn that magical wand of a left foot to get a few assists at this level. Up front, and this is the second position, which I mentioned there were 2 that we struggled with, right wing, and then also the number 10 position, playing as like that false 9, we're using it at the moment, but think of it as like a deep lying forward, the link between midfield and attack, and maybe even a pressing forward if the right person's available. We're still going to go with Leo Gaxa. He of course played for us last season. Only 11 goals in 39 appearances doesn't look that impressive, but he rotated quite a bit. We signed Mampala, who played quite a bit. We had other players like Christian Norton, who played quite a bit. We rotated our front line a fair amount, so that's not the worst result in the world, thinking a lot of those would have been like bench appearances in the last 10-15 or half an hour or whatever else. Still excellent technical ability. Mental does need a little bit of work, but physically absolutely fine, and he can play that false 9 role. I'm really enjoying the false 9 advance forward partnership. I think they complement each other well as a front 2, and hopefully if he can find his feet in the higher division, he's going to be excellent for us as well. Of course, leading the line, we had to keep him. There was nothing I could do. He's been absolutely magnificent. 43 goals in 42 games in his first season. Scored 24 further goals for us last year as well. Now 84 appearances for the club over 3 seasons. 68 goals in that time. He's our leading scorer. He scored the most goals in a game for us. He owns pretty much all the scoring records at Isle of Man, and that's Austin Samuels. Now still 4-star current ability and 4-star potential. The best current ability player in the squad as things currently stand. We've given him a K a week, so similar to Sylvester. earning quite a bit, but we've locked him into a good few years in a contract. He's here for another 3 seasons. So if someone does come knocking and is willing to pay like well above his value, potentially we do move him on and get the benefit out of that. But to have had him now for going into 3 seasons, the return that we've gotten out of him is absolutely phenomenal. If there's a player that I recommend you sign for your lower league save, go after Austin Samuels once his Wolves contract ends, because he is magnificent. Excellent technical attributes for dribbling, finishing, first touch, which is all we need for him, playing him as an advanced forward. Wonderful physical attributes, great acceleration, agility, natural fitness, pace, and wonderful determination of 16. We've got him working on his off the ball at the moment to get into better positions to finish. You're going to have to think at this level he'll have more first time finishes that he needs to make. So hopefully we can improve that a little bit and see him continue a wonderful scoring rate for us in the higher division. The backup, the third choice striker, is Manasa Mampala, who we signed last season. Ex-Everton Junior, also played for Scunthorpe and Crawley as on loan during that period. A very good player, good finishing, good first touch, wonderful mental attributes, okay physical attributes, just hasn't quite clicked. We've got him training at the moment as an advanced forward on attack. He can also potentially do a deep lying forward role if things aren't working out with Gaxa. But in reality, we're going to look to try and sign like a proper starting number 10, and he'll probably slide down the pecking order a little bit. But don't tell him, because he's on £800 a week and I don't want him to get upset. But that's a whole squad, a squad of 20. There is one rule which I keep forgetting about, which is the one homegrown player that you've got to have in each of your squads. So at the moment it's Kieran Cross, who's a grayed out player. That's just basically a backup goalkeeper. Nothing we have to worry too much about with that. But I'm relatively happy with the squad. We don't have a tremendous amount of wage budget to work with, but we can potentially go over that if things are going a little bit well. And like I did mention before, there are a couple of shortlisted players here who look to be quite good. Our scouts have recommended them really highly, that if we do get off to a good start, if we do boost our reputation around football a little bit, potentially we can try and bring these guys in, and some of them look to be absolutely fantastic. As far as the league is concerned, there's some really strong teams. Definitely kind of noticing, seeing and feeling the step up in division and the step up to full-time football. So we've got the likes of Bolton in the division now. Chester have been promoted twice coming up with us. Doncaster in there, who played League One football last season. Oldham, Scunthorpe, Southend, Tranmere, Wickham. There's some big clubs at this divisional level, and it's reflected in their squad, and I think reflected in the season preview as well. You can see Salford favourites to win the league. They're the team that we're going to play today in this episode to start our season. Accrington, who got relegated last year, also favourites. Wimbledon have been down here for a few years, as have Crewe. Doncaster relegated last year. Morecambe relegated last year. There are some very good squads, very good teams, and we're only expected to finish 16th in the division, which is really the first time that we haven't been up towards the top based on our recruitment, the players we're brought in and all that sort of stuff. When you look at the Media Dream 11, Salford look quite strong. I think, is this their goalkeeper? Yep, Joe Rose. They've got 4 of the back 5 in that side. It looks like, who's this? This is Accrington, have a left winger and a forward. It looks like Crewe have a couple of players in there as well. Evans from Wimbledon, to Gregorio from Wickham. There's some really strong players at this divisional level, and we're seeing quite a few high level regions come in. If we sort these outbound fees, Tranmere sold a guy for 450k, Salford sold a guy for 400k. There are some very good players at this level that are actually getting purchased by teams in higher division. So it shows the challenge that's set out for us, but I think we're in a good spot. I think we are building the right way, and we may not necessarily win the league, but if we can finish in the top half and establish ourselves in this division, then hopefully next year we can transition, add some quality to the squad, grow our reputation, increase it, and continue moving up the divisions as quickly as we can. But now we're in League 2 football. I just have to be clear with everyone, I don't expect to win the league this year. But don't tell anybody that. Don't tell half the squad, because they kind of expect us to do well. As far as key players goes for us, it's Sylvester Jasper and Austin Samuels, which makes sense. They are our 2 4-star current ability players. They are the best 2 players in the squad as things currently stand. But hopefully some of this potential here, people will start fulfilling it. We'll start getting more depth, more quality. And if we get off to a strong start at the early part of this year, I think we're in great standing to carry on and continue our record of success so far. But oh, actually, no, there's one more thing. I nearly was going to jump into the game. Results, we've done quite well. We've just played teams kind of in and around our level, so teams that we've played over the last 12, 24 months. So a lot of Vanarama North, Vanarama national teams that you can see here, and we're beating them comfortably. We've kept clean sheets in the majority of the games. We've won them all except a 1-1 draw with Chorley, where we got a late goal to equalise. But otherwise, relatively happy with how our pre-season has gone. I think we're playing good football. I think the tactic is still currently working. We may add some additional stuff now that we're up to professional football and can do a little bit more. But we're going to stick with this high press. We're going to stick with a positive, cautious and attacking philosophy for different statuses and different variances in the game. But so far, so good. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to change anything too quickly. And because you've already seen the lineup, we're going to jump forward to the game in Salford and have a look at how they're lining up as well. Alright, so I'll read through ours just so that you get used to it. Gennaro, of course, in goal. Belahoon and Rooney as the central defensive partnership. Serino and Oyegoke as the fullbacks. David Wang and Longello as the two wingers. Gilson and Cornet in the middle. And Gaxa and Samuels up top. We've got debuts for Serino, Gilson and Rooney and Oyegoke, as well as Gennaro in goal. My hope is that we'll get that little commentary bubble that he scored on his debut. You do see it. You see it so much. So 5 debutants out there. Hopefully one of them can put the ball on the back of the net and get us sorted from there. Salford look incredibly strong though. We did already mention they've got 4 of the back 4 in their squad in that Media Dream 11. They've signed Darnell Fisher from Preston North End. He looks to be higher quality, dropping down from Derby, so like championship level football, to League 2 is crazy. He's on quite a bit of money this week as well. Looks to be fairly solid. He's making his debut for them. They've also got Nightingale in here, who they picked up from Wimbledon. Looks to be quite a good central mid defensive option. Excellent mental attributes. We've got Robbie Burton in midfield, who's a bit of like a lower league wonder kid. If you can pick him up from Arsenal or Shrewsbury during your own saves, he's excellent. Wonderful technical ability, like just so many double figure stats there. It's crazy to see. Worth £1.4 million, which is crazy, on 4.2k a week, which is just mind-boggling. We'll never be able to afford that. They've got Lameka on the left wing, looks to be very solid, versatile winger, ex-Chelsea product, ex-Crystal Palace. They signed him from Sunderland, who are back up into like League 1 championship level. And then up top, they've got Nuttall, who looks quite good, 28-year-old ex-Blackpool, Manchester City junior, played at Forest Green last season in League 1. It looks to be very solid as a striking option. They're paying him 3.8k per week. Like, some of these wages that we're going to see are ridiculous. I wouldn't expect us to be able to pay anyone 3.8k until we get to like championship level. So to see them doing that at League 2 is crazy. And I think it makes sense that they are one of the favourites to win the division. So we're just going to go in with a grain of salt today. We're not going to worry too much about anything. We're just going to see where we're at and use this as kind of like a measuring stick for where we're starting the season to where we're going to finish it. So we're just going to passionately tell everyone, I know we're underdogs, but go out and give these fans a performance to cheer for. We're also going to assertively tell everyone that we have faith in them. I'm not panicked. I'm not super worried. If we go down, we're going to go down swinging, and we'll use it as a learning experience to try and make the squad better and the tactic better and continue progressing up the league pyramid in England. David Wang has already picked up a knock inside the first 15 minutes. That's not great because we don't have another right back on the bench. He's got a free kick here, deep area. Samuels was in the area, and I think the referee has given a penalty. Either the assistant or the referee has. It's going to be Samuels to take as well. We're about 50-50 from penalties, so anything could happen here. Samuels to take on his left peg, and he sends it hard and low to the right of the goalkeeper for his first goal of the season and the first goal of our year and the first goal of League 2 football. God, I love our kit. We haven't managed here in a couple of weeks, but it is just sharp looking. Shout out to Request a Kit for the designs that he put together for it. Okay, we've got another free kick here. I think it's going to be David Wang to take from the edge of the area. Can he get it on target? Not a bad effort. Keeper was scrambling, but it looked like it had just too much height on it. And so far, so good as far as our performance and highlights that we've seen goes. But don't say anything out loud too much because you know Sports Interactive listens in on these. And the minute I do anything too crazy, they're going to hear it and they're going to throw in a goal for the opposition. We've used Adaman Morshout with 10 minutes remaining. Gennaro and Serino, 2 of the new signings, a bit pressured by that feedback. They will get used to it. And with 2 minutes to be added on at first half here, the referee's called half-time. We've had 5 shots, 2 on target, 53% of the ball. They've had 1 shot, none on target, 47% possession. So we are playing quite well. Let's assertively say, I'm happy with your performance so far. Keep it up. No need to complicate stuff any further than that. We just want to keep this morale up, pointing north as much as possible. A lot of those new signings, players that we've brought in, we need to try and get them towards positive frames of mind. And as always, we'll give it 15 more minutes and then we'll have a look at subs and changes and whatever else we want to do. Throw in here. First time we've seen Fisher in possession, or Salford starting with the ball in a highlight. Burton finds Fisher now. Good overlapping run. He's got goal side. He squared it up for Charlesley, and thankfully he has managed to screw that one past the far post. I thought for a second he might have been offside, but they've let it go. They've got a highlight here again. Or we've got a highlight deep. Serino with the throw in, finds Cornet. Belahoon looks for the switch out to the right wing. Shergill wins it back. Should be recovered by Oyegoke here. Into Rooney. Plays it forward towards Gaxa. Nightingale with a good header. Backinson. Thompson, long ball forward. Belahoon with a good header. Serino with the ball over the top. Samuels might get there first. Beats one man. Can he find the finish? What a goal that is from Austin Samuels. He is an absolute superstar. I said it at the start. If there's one player you need to sign for your own save, that is the guy to go and pick up. Check out everything that he's done here. He's got, like, he just doesn't worry about anything. It doesn't matter what level we play him at. He's finding the back of the net with regularity. And, I mean, the physics on him hitting it with the outside of his foot there are a little bit crazy, but second goal of the game for him, and it's just a long ball over the top. Now we're going to see what subs do we need to make to try and see out this win. So we're just going to sort by rating and also conditioning as well. Longello's struggling a little bit. Maybe we'll play... Cornet can play out there. Can't play particularly well. But maybe we just make him a winger on support and we'll bring on Roland in central midfield. David Wang's got a knock, but otherwise he's looking okay. Gaxa seems to be struggling. We might bring on Mampala and maybe go to a poacher up alongside and just go a little bit more long ball for the last 10 minutes. And I might hold on to the last sub for the last few minutes and give David Wang a little bit of a rest. And we're going to use our Get Creative shout as well. We're doing well so far. No need to complain or panic about anything. Got a throw in here on the left. Sereno to take. Cornet. Sereno with the ball in. Mampala hits the post after coming off the bench. And then Fisher manages to scramble it away. Charlesley keeps it in. Hesketh out left towards Nuttall, who I think's position has changed to like a left wing option at the moment. And good tackle from Roland puts it out for the throw-in. Alright, they've got a deep free kick here. And it's going to be Burton to take. Good angle for a right-footed player. And he didn't get it on target. It was about a metre away, but keeper scrambled late. Made me panic for a split second. In other games, Chester, who of course got promoted in second place with us. Second year in a row, they've been promoted in second. They have ahead in their game. Crew winning, Tranmere winning. As things currently stand, we're in third. We're not going to worry about that just this early in the season. Nuttall with a good turn on the left wing. And he steps inside, plays the ball to Sibley. Salford have a 2v1 out here on the right-hand side. Hesketh out now to Fisher, who's been busy in the second half. Cross gets closed down. Kirby recovers in midfield, plays it to Burton. Ball over the top for Fisher. Rooney with a good header away. Roland might get there first. Loses out to Shergill though. Burton with the switch to the right-hand side. Now Hesketh's got on goal side. Plays one square to Sibley. It's pinballing around and he's managed to screw it back. Louis Sibley, ex-Derby junior, it looks like there. Gennaro made a good first save, but then he came out a little bit rationally in the first one. Not rationally, a little bit rash. So Sibley here with the header. Gennaro with a good save. And then he comes out and really Sibley from that angle shouldn't really be able to, one, get a shot off and two, get it beyond a goalkeeper. But we've set up a tense finish for the last few minutes here. We're going to demand more for the last 10. They've got a throw in here. Shergill into Charlesley. Deep ball across towards Fisher, who's gotten the strike away, and he's gotten his goal on debut as well. First goal of the season for him. Let's tactically look at that last sub. Let's bring off David Wang. Connolly can play right mid, or maybe Connolly can play right back, and Oyegoke can play a little bit further forward. Let's go with that. Passionately, I have faith in you, make a difference. And let's see if we can't force the issue a little bit here. Ball back to Rose. Long ball forward towards Sibley on the left. You can tell that like the momentum of the game is definitely sitting with Salford at the moment. We have won the ball back. Rolling with a dangerous looking ball. Nuttall tries a strike from distance. Fisher sends Hesketh down the right, who's been involved in a couple of good pieces of play for them. Sereno, long ball forward. Nightingale with a powerful header. Mampala was off the shoulder. Ball in here. It's been balling around to Nuttall, and thankfully the strike. Oh no, the assistant had called him offside. There's 4 minutes to be added on here. They've got to throw in late. Fisher with the ball. Hesketh in. A good header away from Rooney, who's been quite good out of the air at the back. Roland recovers, plays it forward to Samuels. We're 2v2 here if we can turn and get towards it. Samuels goal side now. Can he find the hat-trick? Oh, it's a good save from Rose. He came out, made himself big. You want to see Mampala at that situation just peel off to the back post and just be there for that square ball. Cornet's going to take the resulting corner here. Takes him on his right foot. I thought he's a left-footed player. Mampala goes up but loses out. Now they've got a 3v3 if they play this ball correctly. Ball forward to Burton. Good tackle from Connolly. Does well. And then blast that one into touch. He would have killed someone in the first row. Throw in here. Shergill to take. Close down. It's forward towards Mampala. We've got a 2v2 again. Ball in behind for Samuels, but he doesn't chase it and the highlight comes to an end. Sereno with a minute to go. There's end-to-end football here and I'm dying. I need to have a sip of this drink. It's just going to happen. Gilson in, left wing. Cornet, what a goal. All right, we're going to, whenever we're down, whenever a highlight happens in the last minute, I'm just going to drink, all right? That's the goal for the rest of this season. If that's going to continue getting us cracking strikes like that from Cornet, we are 3-2 up. I've got a cough. I've got a cough. I'm dying. I told you guys I was hungover, and this game's nearly killed me. Cornet, wonderful, wonderful strike. First goal of the season for him. And a 3-2 victory over the favourites to win the division. We nearly bottled it after being 2-0 up. But my God, we kept going. Passionately, that was really special, lads. Nobody gave us a chance and you played magnificently. Congratulations. And it'll be interesting to see who gets the Player of the Match award, actually. David Wang, Bruce Shin, 1 to 2 days. That's fine. FC Isle of Man, steal, narrow, Salford win. Fuck you guys. We had more shots. We had the same amount of possession. I'm not sure what you guys are upset about. Good few debuts for a few people, and Samuels, of course, gets the Man of the Match award. A 9 rating and 2 goals to start the season. Superb in front of goal last time out, and well done for him. Now, of course, if you guys aren't familiar with the structure of these episodes and how they go, we're going to try over the course of the next 2 weeks to get through this season. So we're probably going to come back maybe for this game against Man United under 23s in the leasing.com trophy, which is the old check trade trophy, I think. And then we might do the game at Tranmere, who are currently in third. They look like they're going to be one of the good teams in this division this year. So maybe we'll do that, because even though it's Man United's under 23s, it's Man United, and they're at home, so it's going to be a great fixture for us. It will mean we jump ahead 5 or 6 games, but hopefully by then we have a bit, a better picture about how we're actually going to do this season and how the year is going to go. Well, this episode nearly killed me. I thought at the end there, when Cornet was smashing it into the top corner from the edge of the area, that I was literally going to choke on nothing and die. And that would have been great content, but there would have been anyone to edit or upload it, so you guys never would have found out. My account would have just gone dead. And really, when you think about it, that would be a tragedy. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's the part that I appreciate the most. If you want to help celebrate the start of Season 7, you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all our future videos. We are trying to do Monday to Friday uploads. Some weeks I do better than others, but we will continue under that structure at least until the end of this year. If you look at the links, no, I've gone the wrong side again. I've forgotten everything. I'm dying. You can check out @InTheMixer_FM over on Twitter for all our interactions within the community. I'm going to make a conscious effort to tweet more and be a bit more active in there and get involved a little bit over the next few months. And if you ever want to reach out, that's always the best way to do it. My DMs are always open. You can also check out our regular Sunday night Twitch streams, twitch.tv/InTheMixer_FM for our Employee of the Month save. Sunday nights if you're in Australia, Sunday mornings if you're over in the UK or North America. But as always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the Mixer.